Hello, hello. Welcome to Wolvden. Wolvden is made by the same developers as Lyoden, but 5 years ago it came out instead of, a decade ago. So there's a lot of UI updates and other things that I'm assuming would be pretty difficult to implement in Lyoden. Uh, And for that matter, there are some things I like better about Lyoden than Wolvden. Um, and this is just me rolling over now. It is after rollover, but it's still very early in the morning. Um, and everybody's done everything wonderful. Uh, on Wolvden, something that I like a lot that Lyoden does not have, for instance, are these Melvin's missions. You got a little buddy, a little mouse buddy, and he tells you stuff to do, and you get paid for it, which is really awesome. Lyoden has a lot of mini games, unlike Wolfden. There's only a handful here. Way less options for mini games on Wolfden. However, you get paid more through these quests, like Melvin's missions and the questing snake. You get 3 quests instead of 1, and you get paid more the harder it is. Sometimes there are unique quests down here. They might potentially just be the tutorial stuff. I have not rolled over for 30 days on Wolvden yet. Technically, I made my Wolvden account when I made my Lyoden accounts. However, I decided to focus on Lyoden first, and I'm glad that I did because I understand a lot more now about these games and this style of playing that I would have struggled. I would have had I'd have been the first passenger on the struggle bus if I had tried to do all of it at the same time, because Wolvden is very different from Lyoden, even though it is also very similar. Speaking of, let me clear out some notifications. I guess you can come along for this. This is my daily rollover. Good, they got boosted. That's okay because Eerie Dream is not a pup sitter anymore. Somebody. Okay, somebody became adolescent and somebody needs to be in a nest, or else we're gonna have problems. Okay, so foraging is a subset category. It's another role that your wolves can take on, but it's different than the herbalist, which is different from what it used to be, from what I understand. I literally just got back into this, and they put out an update that changed this and added foragers. So your herbalist no longer forages, but you can have up to 3, I think only 3. Don't take that for granted. Don't take what I just said as the truth because I'm not 100% on it. But I'm pretty sure it's only 3 adult wolves that can be your foragers. And then I think if you have an apprentice, you can have that go along with somebody. But they'll bring back herbs from whatever biome you send them out to. Okay, you need to level up. And I send you back out? Yes. Incredible. Incredible. Okay. And then you, I need to level up before I can do that. That's something that annoys me about Wolvden. You can't just level them up whenever. You have to do it before you either finish a task, like if they're hunting, or before you do something, like that. But whatever, that's fine. And then herbalist, this is the regular herbalist part. I have spooky skeleton. And now your herbalist just gets to focus on making medicines and researching medicines that you don't know already, which is awesome. I very much do not have a lot of things, and I really, really, really need this, but I can't get that. I have so many sick dudes, and they're at least I figured out how to quarantine them. I did not know how to do that either, so for like 2 rollovers, they were just doubling all the influenzas. And then I had my lead wolf, Pine Blood, had a cough as well and gave that to somebody. So I had, and then that guy gave it to somebody else. So I had 3 wolves with cough and then 7 with influenza. And then now Damp Sand has a open wound, which is awful. But at least that one's not contagious. So he's in the regular population. You'll see what I mean here. I want to change the name of my pack. I don't know what to at the moment. So this is what I named it when I started, I guess, last year in 2024. Now, current me, I'm like, this is not it. It's kind of funny, though, I guess. Baba Yaga pack. I'm not Russian at all, and Baba Yaga is a myth from Russia. Anyway, not important. On theme, Bagagwa is now the name of the den where the sick guys are in. It wasn't supposed to be. I was trying to separate out guys with tier 3 rare bases versus the regular, like, normal nothing bases. But everybody got sick, so it's quarantined now. And then the yurt hut is the other one that I've got going on right now. And then Damp Sand has an illness. It's an open wound, which you can actually see in his art. It's this red patch here. Usually, he, what are you? She doesn't have an open wound regularly. Let's see. What am I doing? I'm trying to get rid of notifications. Getting distracted. Hunting parties, yes. Here we go. They were successful, but Damp Sand let the prey slip away. She is not the finisher that I want, but it's the finisher I have at the moment. Scouts. Okay, we're scouting the desert. I finally got 2 scouts. Incredible. Sunny Smile, you go back to doing that. And then the woodland, Mist over Stone, gets distracted every time, but they do fine. I'm at full energy. I could go explore. What is Melvin's things? Take a unique quest, send in an apprentice to mix medicine, send in an apprentice foraging, complete a daily snake quest, feed 5 wolves to 100%. What are the apprentices? I don't even know yet. I'm assuming they're the adolescent wolves, but I don't know how to make them apprentices. Do I give them a role? I'll have to check it out. And then my snake quests: submit 2 fish, craft 2 items, complete 3 scouting missions. I probably won't be able to craft anything because I only have like 5 recipes and not nearly enough ingredients for them. Fish is easy, do that. And then scouting missions. I already had 2 comebacks. I'm already at 2 out of 3. Hell yeah. 100 free silver cones. Here, let me show you Pine Blood. My main wolf at the moment, my lead wolf. They are not much of anything because they are just a rolled, literally the first rolled wolf. I've only rolled over 12 times. That's crazy. Anyway, this is fine. So this is what they've got for looks and markings at the moment. Oh, another thing that is new as of the 5-year anniversary, which was literally just this week. Tertiary mutations are a new thing. And there are so many mutations in Wolvden. There's already regular mutation. There's a secondary mutation. And then you get to be a carrier for a mutation. Like, that's just crazy. I wish they had that in Wolvden. Because you can have, especially first mutation, second mutation. And then now with tertiary mutation, it'll be like a third layer of mutation. So you can have at least 2 things going on at the same time if they don't like interact with each other. So you could have long teeth or a long tongue, I think, is a tertiary one that they added. And then you get to have like your piebald whatever patches mutation. And then I think I think you get to have something else on top of that. So I think it layers 3 times now, which is crazy. And then you get to be a carrier for like melanism or albinism or something. I read it in the fan wiki that they have, which is really nice. Definitely recommend checking that out. But yeah, that's crazy. Really cool, but really crazy. I also set this wolf as my stud because I, for some reason, because it is different from Lyoden, I didn't understand what the difference was, and that I could have picked a different wolf for this. That's fine. I would have picked this wolf that I got recently. Even though this wolf is long gen, 21st generations. They're clean, and they're cool as heck. Oh well, that's fine. From what I understand, I can still pair bond wolves. So like male wolves aren't completely useless, unlike in Lyoden, which is super cool. I really like that a lot. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Hold on, I gotta let a cat into my room. We will see if she yells at me. She's now in the room. Or walks across my keyboard and screws everything up. That might happen. That's fine. I kind of, speaking of Eerie Dream and me buying them, I wanted a forager because I had nothing. Nobody. And they took it away from the herbalists, and it was just like, oh no, everybody got sick. I don't have any meds, and I still can't get the right meds. I looked up where pineapple leaf and guaiacum, whatever that herb is, and they come from the rainforest, which is nowhere near me at the moment, which sucks. I need a lot of money, and I have almost nothing. That's fine. That's fine. That's totally fine. A couple of these guys, this guy specifically, I have on accident. Because I meant to do a enclave quest and bought this guy, even though I thought I specified young enough, but I did not, I guess. Which, rip to me, I guess. Waste of money. And this guy, lightning and quartz fracture, were both accidents. But they'll be loved. They're packed now. Let's see. What else can I go over? There's obviously exploring to get rid of my energy. Socializing. Actually, this is another thing I really like about Wolvden, and I think it's very interesting. You could just get to add dudes, and then they'll either like each other or hate each other. And you come back in a half hour and see whether they like each other or hate each other. It's great. The interactions with the personality and the hunting, because the personalities affect your hunting chances and whether or not your team does well doing a team activity, I find very interesting, and I like that they incorporated that. And then it has also a similar thing to games like, well, for example, for me, the easiest one to think of is Pokemon, where your personality gives you a buff to some stats and a debuff to other stats. And that's just like baked into your guy, right? So Pine Blood has a precise personality, and as a lead wolf, he also gets a bonus, or they get a bonus, 1% extra success chance for hunting teams, which is pretty nice. It's only 1%, but that could matter. And then also, any wolf with the precise personality will get +7 to agility and +3 to smarts, and then -3 to speed. Which, of course, speed that's not on level up. That is just what they started as, was +7 already to agility, right? Let's see. And then the whole thing about the stats and choosing which one you want to have leveled up, the priority stats, that's really nice too. I don't know if they would be able to implement something like that in Leyden. I don't know if it's possible, because you'd have to change a lot of code, I'm pretty sure, but me not knowing anything about code, trying to comment on coding. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it's difficult. It's probably why they haven't done it yet, to be honest. And that's fine. This is the sequel, so of course there's going to be better things about it baked in, right? Versus the original. That's just how games work. But yeah, this is what I got so far. This is what is going on. Also, random thought, I kind of wish that there was, because like this activity thing, it doesn't tell you how many members there are total, and I don't know where to go for that, so I have no idea how many people play Wolvden as opposed to Leyden. Lyoden, usually there is 1,000 to 3,000 people online at any time. But on Wolvden, I've only seen a maximum of 1,000 people online, which is kind of crazy. And then, obviously, with Lyoden, each person can have 2 accounts, and Wolvden, you only get 1. So automatically, I guess that would cut everything in half. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's about the same amount of people. I have no idea. Somewhere is that stat, I'm sure. Something else that's interesting is the Grove versus the Oasis on Lyoden. I forgot to turn that alarm off. Anyway, the Grove has all of their like extra stuff up top, and then of course the fancy currency, the gold cones, because they're pine cones, up top, which is different. All that stuff on Lyoden is at the bottom. Something else that's interesting about Wolvden versus Lyoden is the item shops, like the raccoon salesman, and here in the Grove, you can't what is it? It's not search. Filter. You can't filter your items that you're looking for, so you kind of have to just look through everything. I'm not as big of a fan of that. Although, in the Grove, there's way less items than there is in the Oasis. So, it's kind of forgivable, I guess. The raccoon is the equivalent of the... What is he? A baboon? Yeah, I think. A baboon in Lyoden. And like in Lyoden, you get to do the filtering for your stuff, and in here you can't. So again, it's all just kind of jumbled up together. No matter what it is you're looking for. So you have your special items, like your aging crystal, and this OSHA thing, which apparently removes mutations, which is crazy. You can't just search for those. You have to look through the entire catalog. I think this here is a better UI, though, for selling. Anyway, that's just my comments on that, the differences there. For the most part, it's fine, because there's not as many items in either of these shops compared to Lyoden's shops. This is going full circle back to the herbalist stuff. I really like that there's actually a use for all of these herbs, whatever, that you collect, not just feeding them to a beetle like in Lyoden. There's no other use for them in Lyoden besides feeding them to beetles, maybe some quests like in November, and then bedding. That's it. That's the only thing you get to use them for. So I think it's a lot nicer here that there's actually use for that stuff, rather than just, oh, you got a flower, you don't know what the hell to use it for, though. Feed it to your bug, I guess. I don't know. Anyway. I think I can do that. What the yeah. Well, whatever. This was just, my introduction on what I'm doing at the moment in Wolvden, because I thought it was a good idea since I was starting it up this month, like officially. Anyway, see y'all later. Have fun. Check it out, y'all. It's good time, I think. Anyway.